Hi guys, I'm Jordan. I'm the representative for Group 1. We are not as technologically advanced and can edit the videos together, so I have some quotes from everybody about their specific articles, so I'll be looking at my phone a little. Sorry in advance. So we discussed about how our sleep has been affected based on the pandemic and being quarantined. So overall, our schedules weren't changed super bad, but there have definitely been effects that we've all been feeling in our sleep schedules. So the least affected is Ben. He says his schedule has really not changed significantly. He's still waking up at the same time, going to bed maybe a little later, but basically around the same time. He says he's still doing his workout. He's telecommuting from home, doing his classwork. So he says he's been pretty consistent with everything, which I applaud. So his study was called Shining Evolutionary Light on Human Sleep and Sleep Disorders, and it explained the purpose of sleep across species, the evolution of sleep from primates to humans, human sleep in comparison to primates and mammals, sleep and human development, and evolutionary perspectives on sleep disorders. He was very interested in the different sections on sleep disorders and how there is evidence that some may have benefited humans, such as insomnia, which may have helped with predation risk validity. So then the next kind of person who has the best sleep schedule is Hannah. She said hers has changed, but it's kind of shifted. She said she's still getting about the same amount of sleep, but instead of waking up at 9 in the morning and going to sleep at 2 in the morning, she's waking up at 1 p.m. and going to sleep at 5 a.m., which happens in college. She says that she's attempted to follow the advice of staying on schedule as if on campus, but that just has not worked out for her. And she has kind of fallen back into a routine of what she would do in high school. So the article she found was basically laid out the chemical reactions and going-ons of sleep, dreams, and waking. It also mentioned different consequences of little sleep across different age ranges and how certain drugs such as caffeine and the lights that we have, the artificial lights that we now have, and how they have started to alter our circadian rhythms. Next would be Brenna. She said hers are kind of the same. Instead of going to bed around 11 or 12, she's now going to bed at 2 to 3, but then she's waking up a little later as well. She has tried to make it where she has more of a routine, because not having a routine makes it where she procrastinates more and doesn't stay on a schedule. But since everything's kind of in flux with a lot of classes, it's been difficult for her to do so and difficult to remain productive. So the article she read discussed the importance of a regular sleep schedule and how such a thing helps set the body's clock to align with the rhythms of your daily life. And she said it stressed that though your schedule may change throughout your life, it's very important to always find a consistent schedule that works for you, which is very true. I have read a lot of articles about trying to get your sleep solidified because I'm next. I don't have a great sleep schedule. Sleeping about the same, maybe a little less. I'm really trying to stay where I wake up and do my classes at the time that I would normally do classes. That's not necessarily working out for me either. My thing is that my quality of sleep has gone down. So even though I'll try to get in bed about the time I would in Stillwater, I'm not sleeping. I'm just laying there and my mind is not turned off. So I was looking at stuff. The article I was looking for was stuff that could affect sleep, such as stress, but my main focus was on loneliness, because I went from living in a house with 15 other girls to now living where it's just me and my parents. And it's a very weird feeling of going from knowing that someone's always in the next room that you can go talk to being the only person home at times. And they found that there are associations between stress, loneliness, and the time and latency of sleep, which is how long it takes you to fall asleep, which is what my biggest problem has been since this whole quarantine has started. And the winner of our group for the most changed sleep schedule is Darling. And she said she slept anywhere from 2 hours one night to 14 hours one night. She said it's all over the place. She said a lot of it has been based on her stress of not knowing what her classes will look like because of the transition to online. And her big thing is she wasn't sure if the stress of all of her classes are making her sleep worse, or if the fact that she's not getting sleep is making her feel more stressed. And she personally feels like she's just caught in this circle of never-ending sleep deprivation, and then more stress, and then more sleep deprivation, and just going back and forth. The article she looked for was about cross-sectional studies, and it found that stress was correlated with impaired sleep, especially when you are anticipating high demands the next day. Shortened sleep, especially in sleep stages 3 and 4, increase cortisol levels, therefore making an already stressful situation even worse. So this whole thing is very stressful for all of us, and we're all trying to adapt in multiple ways and in your own way, because you have to adjust to it in your specific way, because we all had different schedules up in Stillwater, and now being at home, we're all in 5 separate places, so we have to figure that out on our own as well. But kind of hearing about how everyone else's stress is working kind of made me feel a little bit better. And seeing the different articles, I think one thing that my group had really discussed about was just like, we need to breathe and trust that, like, even though everything's super stressful, like, we need to put ourselves first and stay healthy, and then try to make our sleep better so then our stress can go down a little, so then we can fix the cycle that Darling is definitely associated in, and that most likely all of us are. So hopefully this will help you, as it's helping me a little. I've slept better this week than I have before, and you continue to stay healthy and have a fun quarantine.